Yep, gonna be another exhaust video. Alrighty, you saw the last video, or the last BMW video, I guess. We tried those cheapish, cheap compared to the others, not actually that cheap exhaust tips on the rear. Looked very eBay, very AutoZone special. I decided to order a second set from a different company, this time from Active Autowerke. Online it says fully conceals the inner pipe. So we're gonna try it out. It's definitely more expensive. I'm sending the ARM Motorsport ones back. Hopefully you get a refund or a partial refund on those. And we're gonna try these new ones. I'm gonna tell you already, I opened it. The quality's better, but I'm concerned about this whole conceals inner pipe. Alrighty, this is one of the ones that we tested last video, the one with the paint drip. I don't know how I always pull this one out, but this is the one I pulled out. These will be going back today, but I kept this as a comparison to the ones we just got. So the ones we just got, as I mentioned, I'm only gonna take one out because I'm a little bit concerned. I don't wanna like unwrap them all if I'm just gonna end up sending this one back too. But I did look at this upstairs. This is the Active Autowerke version. You can see construction is similar, but obviously there's a lot more quality in this Active Autowerke one. It has like a little kind of special clamping system as opposed to just like a screw or a bolt that goes straight into the exhaust pipe. Has a cutout here for that knob on top of or the little stud on top of the exhaust where the factory one presses on. So obviously you can see there's a height difference here. And that's, obviously this back end covers a little bit more of the stock pipe. I'm a little concerned that what they meant by fully conceals original pipe or whatever it said on the website is they meant the backside here, because the internal construction is very similar. The difference being, which maybe is a +1 here for Active, the internal diameter of this pipe. This one obviously the double walledness stays together until maybe an inch from the end, and then it flares out to make the full tip. Whereas this one is like basically the exact opposite. It's only really doubled walled here in the back, and then it's very big the whole way. So if you don't have the tip all the way in the stock tip all the way in the rear, then there's space between the tip wall and this wall. Whereas on the Active one, I guess it's possible that the tip will be right on the edge and therefore less noticeable. The downside, I think, of getting black is that this is black everywhere, right? Outside, inside. So when you have a silver pipe in there, it's naturally going to be a little bit more noticeable. So I don't know. The fit and finish is definitely better, but it's still just, a steel pipe. These are pretty heavy. I'm interested to see. We're gonna see. I'm gonna put one on. I don't want to get them all out of the box, so I'm just gonna end up sending them back. But for thoroughness, I'm gonna show it to you guys, and then you can decide whether $150 is worth it, $300 is worth it, or you should just skip all of this and save up your money for an exhaust. So if you missed the first video, go back and check it out. But basically, these just press on. Use a little bit of piece of wood and some hammer. And it'll pop them out a little bit, and then you should be able to pull it off like that. Little clampy guys, just fit right on. Alrighty, moment of truth. So as you see, this little notch goes on top to fit around that stud. Let's see. Ooh, it's definitely a snugger fit. Here's the downside. If I press this on, I think technically to send these back, they're not allowed to be installed. Let me undo these little Allens here and make sure there's no clamping being done before I try to slide this on and potentially scratch the paint. All right, I ended up pulling this one off just to see if it would fit maybe a little bit better than this one. It's a snugger fit, right? So for sure, you can see right there that little scratch on the paint. That's from me, sort of trying to get this one on. The fit is definitely snugger. This one goes to here without any more help. The pipe definitely fits much snugger, but here's where I gotta make a choice between doing this for the YouTubes we're trying to save the 300 bucks. If I press these on here, at least this one, it's gonna get a little bit scratched, right? That black paint in there is gonna take a little bit of damage, which means that they're not gonna be able to be returned. And if they are, I'm gonna get kind of dinged on them. So I gotta make a choice on whether this looks like it's gonna work or not, and whether, you know, providing some useful content is worth the $300. My initial impression, it looks like it's gonna be more legit, right? Like this inner wall doesn't drop off until like here. So it looks a lot less eBay or AutoZone-ish, right? So I guess I'll do it. I'll press it on. I'm gonna send the other ones back and get my 150 bucks back for these. I'm doing it for the YouTubes. So hit me, hit me with the likes and the comments and the shares and all that stuff. And then you'll know whether these are legit or you should save your money. All right, I didn't push it in super deep, but you know, it's about out to where it would be a little bit level. It looks like, I'm looking at this, the way this clamp fits on here. It looks like it'd be hard to have them even because the two clamps would kind of get in the way of each other. So you'd probably have to do a staggered where this one is out further and this one is behind it. Otherwise, in my opinion, it looks like they might touch. I'm not positive on that. Getting down here, you can see that I pulled it out maybe just a touch, or pushed it in just a touch far, but the pipe completely hugs this inner diameter. And again, down here, you can, you know, if you look hard enough, you can see the silver pipe inside. I think if you got the silver version, you definitely wouldn't notice it. From out here, it's definitely much less eBay. There's still a little bit of, you know, it is a tip on a stock exhaust. I'm not trying to pretend that I have an aftermarket exhaust here, but I do think that the tips could look a little bit better. So I don't know, what do? Do I put the other one on? I guess at this point I've already potentially scratched the inside of that one. So these things, if I'm gonna make anything back, I gotta sell them to somebody else instead of Active Auto. So I guess I'll throw the other one on so we can test the fitment of those clamps and just kind of get a better idea of what this is gonna look like. All right, paint and consistency wise, these are definitely a lot better. Little active thing is cool. So I don't know, let's see how it goes. Alrighty. Yeah, so my suspicion was correct. The clamps are in contact. So you might be able to rotate this one to get this one by. Yeah, I think you can get it by. That's about, I don't know if you'd have, you know, vibration and annoying issues, but for sure the clamps are very close. And, you know, to keep active on the top, the logo and stuff, you really can't orient them a different way. It'd be weird to turn one this way and have, you know, the logo on the side. So, all right, let's see how this goes. If I can get it on just a tiny bit more. All right, so in current form, let me get my GoPro screen to turn on here so I can see what I'm showing you. This is the limit of basically where I told you earlier the double walledness converges back into the outer diameter, so that this inner diameter, it might be hard to see this, but right here, you know, it's one thickness and then it slopes out to get thin near the end. This is about basically where the top, the slant cut, stops at this rim, so it looks, you know, at some level one pipe the whole way through. I don't think you would want to push them in any further, because then you get back into the same issue that the last tips we had had, right? Which is very obvious inner pipe. Again, these in silver, I think honestly, you probably wouldn't notice that at all. Let's see just kind of from the side here. If you're down underneath the car, you can definitely see the little clampy things on the side. From behind, once that spun in, it'd be less noticeable. Obviously that little chrome thing sticking out, but you know, at some level, you can kind of tell. It's definitely not as streamlined as the stock tips. All right, these I think I'm gonna roll with for a little while since I can't return them anyway. All right, I will say it'd be cool if this clamping hardware was black, you know, to kind of just help it blend in a little bit further. If this is silver, then I guess they could leave it silver. So I'm gonna put this outer one on first. Ooh, this guy slid in, at least initially, a little bit more easily. Ooh, but the back, I guess there's some variance either in this pipe. Yeah, so you're definitely not getting this on without tearing up a little bit of paint on the inside of this. You can't see it obviously because it's in there, but for sure if I were to pull these off right now, this outer edge would have scratched the inside. This guy actually needs to come out a tiny bit. Come on now. That's about it, I think. All right, here's the full look at it. They're basically in line with the bumper on both sides. This is basically as far in as I would recommend you put these, because like I said, the upper part of the pipe here, this is basically right where it ends the inner diameter. So if you pulled it out, it would look, you could definitely like see the pipe more. I think for sure, especially in person, the inner pipe, you can see it because it's silver and the tips are black, but it looks like a lot more part of one piece, basically. The other ones, you could definitely see the pipe in inner pipe more. If you got these silver versions of these, I think like it really would just blend right in and you could never tell. I do think that the hardware black would be cool, but these definitely cover more of the tip than the last ones did. The last ones you had a lot of this rear section exposed, which just made it look even more AutoZone-y, right? So, I don't know. I think I'm digging them for now. I'm gonna live with them. These are good enough, I think, that it's worth trying them out for a couple weeks and seeing, you know, if I notice them and when I'm walking up to the car in parking lots and stuff, when I'm not forcefully looking for it. So they definitely stick out further than the OEM ones. They're beefier than the OEM ones. Black, silver, obviously your choice. My second mod didn't show up yet. It's for this general area and it's also black. It's actually carbon fiber. So I think that'll tie in nicely. Eventually we'll probably do the black replacements for these rear reflectors, or they make like little grill inserts. So there's a lot of like, you know, light silverish, white, black contrast going on. So I do dig the black exhaust tips as long as they look legit, right? So I don't know. Your guys' call whether you're into them or not. These, the Active Autowerke ones, I think are definitely way more legit than the other version. Actually, I have an Active Autowerke exhaust on the M3. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Hit me in the comments. All right, the things we do here on this channel for the peoples. I'll let you know how it goes if I get my money back on the first set. $150 is a lot for tips. $300 is even more for tips, obviously. I think if you're going to spend the money, the Active Autowerke ones or potentially the BMS ones, they look very similar to the Active Autowerke ones, are the way to go. At the end of the day, the 300 bucks is still a quarter of what the OEM carbon fiber version costs. If those for some reason go on sale for buy one, get three free, I will for sure buy that set and show you guys how those fit. But I think for now, I'm done with trying these tip mod things. It's just, I think this is about as good as you can get without paying ridiculous amounts of money or, you know, kind of building your own design and paying ridiculous amounts of money for somebody to develop that. But yeah, I'm happy with them. I would say that I'd be happier. I thought the inner wall would kind of slide inside of the stock exhaust pipe. I thought that's what it meant when it said fully conceals OEM pipe. But I think the fit is tight enough that it's definitely less obvious. And if, like you said, if you were into the silver tips, I think it would just blend right in and you could have the more aggressive, more meaner looking tip. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hit me in the comments below with any concerns or thumbs up or whatever. I know some people liked the look on the last video. Some people were like totally against it. So if you like the look and you're willing to spend a little bit more, these are for sure the way to go. I'll put a link to them below. Again, I have no affiliation with Active Autowerke, and I'm definitely not gonna be able to return them with as snugly as they fit. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Whenever that next mod shows up, the carbon fiber is going on. FedEx said it was supposed to be here tomorrow. Now it says pending schedule or some like basically non-answer about when it's supposed to be here. So yeah, I got that coming, and I promise, break-in period almost over. Okay, see you guys. Bye.